Joining us now to give his insights is Republican Congressman Tim Burchett of Tennessee. He introduced the UAP Transparency Act. You will be at this hearing. I appreciate you taking the time tonight.
Thank you, ma'am.
I want to start with what you expect to hear this Wednesday. Do you think that Americans will learn new information about UAPs, or are you expecting massive revelations on Wednesday?
I think we're going to learn some things. It's peeling back the layers of an onion. The one thing I think that will happen eventually is President Trump will move towards total disclosure, and that's what's going to have to happen because it's just going to be some person's word against another. And we have these government bureaucrats who keep saying that they don't exist, or as you quoted the one just then, saying that we misinterpret. Well, they're misinterpreting then because their own people are saying we don't know what the heck these things are. And the best pilots in the world that are our pilots are telling us these things are flying in close proximity to their aircraft. I had one tell me this thing flew 14 feet away from my canopy, and he held up his hand like that as it is to mimic where it was. So, and then we have these bureaucrats arrogantly tell us that we don't know what we're talking about, and then when we ask them about specific instances like the one you're showing right there, they look down at their papers and say, we have no information on that. So it's a completely compartmentalized, arrogant bunch, and I'm hoping President Trump fires a lot of people and put some people in there that trust the American public with the truth.
Yeah, you are hoping he fires some people. I appreciate you mentioning that. I do want to ask, President-elect Trump has said in the past that he knows things about UFOs. What are you expecting? What will you be watching from him? Are you expecting full transparency under his new presidency?
I hope so. That's the signals I've been given. And in my conversations with the president-elect, I'm convinced that that's what he wants and that he trusts the American public. It's just like the Kennedy files. They tried to set up Schumer tried to set up this thing and everybody embraced it, and they trashed me because I said it's not going to work because it mimics the Kennedy files, which happened before I was born. I'm 60 years old, and yet we still don't know what happened there. Those files are still closed, and the people associated with it are dead. So we've got a lot of things to get to. I don't know that this will prove too much other than that there's more out there and that we're not telling the truth. The admiral that will testify, he has some very compelling evidence that he wants to talk about. And there's no reason in the world for a man like that to lie, because if all he's going to do is be ridiculed in the public and by his former peers. So this is completely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they face ridicule, yeah. And to your point, it is, these whistleblowers are at risk. They receive threats for coming forward. I do want to ask you, Congressman, I know you introduced the UAP Transparency Act. You've been championing this for some time. We find ourselves in this moment. Many perceive political upheaval in our country. We are facing foreign wars that need to be solved. People still feeling the pinch of the economy and inflation at home, the border. Why does this in particular matter to you so much?
Well, it's in the purview of the committee. We don't deal with a lot of those other things in oversight. We oversee government and cover-ups. And why in the world would we not want to know what we're spending tens of millions of dollars on? The federal government tells us they don't exist in one breath, but then they won't release files. And when they do, they're redacted heavily because they think we're ignorant and they're arrogant. It says everything to do with Washington. It's power, influence, overconfidence, and arrogance, and money, of course, is all wrapped up into this. And if we had an hour, I could probably just scratch the surface. But I'm hoping we'll get to the bottom of this. Chairman Mace is going to be an excellent chairwoman, and she will, I believe, she will not put up with any garbage. And I'm looking forward to the committee.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com.